everyone, Nikki Smash here of the Nikki Smash Show, only on Patreon, and I'm joined by Adam from Adam and the Hellcats. Adam, how the fuck are you, dude?
Yeah, what's going on, man? I'm good.
Good stuff, dude. So, a little birdie tells me, man, a little birdie tells me that you have a new record coming out in April.
Well, that little birdie got eaten by this guy, so.
Got eaten by the cat.
Yeah, innit? It fucking thing gets everywhere. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure like you'll end up learning a lot more of the history of my band tonight, really. But suffice to say, for the last probably 3 years now, we've been working on finally getting a debut full-length album out called Claws Out. It's releasing on April 12th on all of the usual online platforms, your iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, all of that. Apparently, we're even going to be on that Shazam thing as well that recognises your songs when they're played in places, which is the weirdest shit.
Sick. So we can be like, hey, Siri, and all that lot. And
and we've just done a deal with Cargo Records in London to actually have it out in HMV stores nationwide as well.
Dude.
And international people can go on the Cargo Records website and order it from them. And to, if anyone non-UK fancies buying it as well,
dude, that's great. Congratulations, man.
Long time bloody coming, mate. I'll tell you.
People don't realise, man, how hard it is to make an album.
Mate,
And making an EP is like a giant single. But when you click over from that 4 to 6 songs into the 10 to 15 song bracket, because obviously you need more, and then pick the best 11 or whatever. But like when you get into that, you realize that's like, actually, I've got like 4 EPs worth of material here that I've got to do in one hit, one sitting.
Yeah,
people don't get that.
You know, that's one of the best analogies of it I've heard, to be fair, mate. I'm going to steal that. But,
yeah, steal it, absolutely.
But for me, the EP thing, it's kind of cool if you're a very new band, right? And the thing is, even though we'd released the odd single, and there was like a small kind of EP called Long Live Rock and Roll that came out a few years ago, we're hardly a new band. We've been going that long now. I've been doing this in one form or another now for nearly 10 years. I've got no bloody excuse to not knock out a full album now. And all the bands I really love that got me into music, or your Status Quo, AC/DC, Motorhead, all of that.
Yeah.
They didn't do EPs, man. And they got in the studio, they wrote an album, and they did an album. There was no half measure to those guys. And those are the kind of people I like to think I'm trying to live up to, if you will.
Totally, dude. Totally. It's the thing is as well with it, dude, is that people, as much as we're just literally, this is like a contradiction in terms here, but like, as much as we're saying people don't know how hard it is, the beginning process to achieve it is also easier than you think.
Oh yeah.
You know, it makes sense to kind of go like, okay, well, I will do this. The facilities around the world, or even in your doorstep, or even in your bedroom, are just there to be able to do it.
Well,
but I think it's more the time frame that people get kind of like, it takes fucking what, mate? You know?
Yeah, I tell you something funny with how we recorded this, mind. We started it using Pirate Studios facility in Bristol, and all we ended up doing was we went and got the drum tracks recorded in another studio. Because Pirate just don't have the facility for live drums. But
live drums is a ball ache.
And mixing them is an even bigger ball ache, mate. That's why I'm glad I didn't do it.
Yeah, fuck that.
But as far as all the guitars and vocals and all that, we just went down to Pirate Studios. There were 7 of us crammed into this tiny little production room, using DI'd guitars and stuff like that. And each person would be like, right, you're next. Excellent. They got a little vocal booth in the back of each one of the rooms, and oh my god, we nearly died of heat stroke in there. I remember the first proper session for this album. I was in there for about 20 hours straight because Pirate's so dirt cheap. And I died. I remember,
dude,
we not long released a single off it called "Bend in the Knee."
Right.
The funny one about "Bend in the Knee" was during that first session, it had got through to, this was about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and the next morning, mind. And my support worker Patrick, I'd given him the code to the door to come and get me because he was going to give me a lift up to where my girlfriend was living at the time. And there's no phone signal in Pirate, so he's got to come in. And he finds me there, like slumped over the desk, trying to sort out the samples that we used in Bend in the Knee. And oh my god, he's looking at me and he's like, "How are you not asleep, man?" And like, cause he legit told me he was expecting to find me just passed out in the middle of the room and like some Pirate Studio staff trying to kick me out or something. I was like, "No, I am doing this. I am using every second of the time."
Yeah,
But,
and rightly so, dude. It's tough going through the night.
But more recently, we've all started to invest in our own home recording stuff, especially with all the lockdowns and all that that have been going on. I've now got a freaking vocal booth in my front room, much to my missus's dismay at times. I've got this full little setup for my podcast, Welcome to the Madhouse.
Which everyone should go and check out, by the way.
Yeah, weekly on the Adam and the Hellcats Facebook and on the Invisible Man Show page too. At the time of recording this, my next interview is Pete Lee from Lawnmower Death, which that should be funny. But
oh, dude,
yeah, he's a legend. He's absolute legend. But yeah, no, it's been a long process getting to the stage of the claws coming out. But April 12th, worldwide, we're gonna rock and roll. All right.
I can't wait, mate.
Well,
I can't wait for it.
Well, you can wait. You're getting a free copy, man.
That's very kind, man. I will always pay for stuff, though.
Nikki, don't even watch that. Don't even watch that. You've been kind enough letting me come on here and chat shit. So it's all good.
Shut up, mate. Shut up, mate.
What are you doing?
Well,
what are you saying?
what are you saying, man? What are you saying? So, with the recording process that you've done, have you ended up doing all the guitars and vocals in your house rather than going back into the studios? Then you've literally invested so much that you don't need to go back to Pirate Studios or anything. You just
what you mean, like when we come to do the follow-up?
No, where you are now, for this new record.
Probably the latter half of the songs we recorded. I mean, they're not in that same order, but the latter half of the songs we actually recorded were all done by either people recording from home or they'd come to me and record them here.
Yeah, I get you.
We're a band that always finds a way. We don't believe in having to
quote Jurassic Park.
Well, yeah, exactly. But
the band will find the way.
There's a song in that somewhere, and you're
Definitely.
not having it.
Over to you, my friend.
But we're a band that kind of believe that as much as big professional studios and all that are great, you don't have to do it. You don't have to sink thousands and thousands of pounds into a record. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. I've probably sunk overall about $2,000 into just getting the record ready. And not to mention the amount of money that we're laying out on actually being able to release it, which I'm not even going to go into because it'll make you sick.
Yeah, totally.
But I know bands of the same level that have spent double the time and like triple the money just because they think they have to go into a sort of named studio and do it. It's like, it's no disrespect to those studios at all. They're fantastic at what they do.
Yeah.
But I mean, half of my band are on benefits, mate. We can't afford that.
Dude. Yeah, we've all been there, man. We've all been there. It's tough, dude.
Yeah, trust me.
So yeah, it's tough, man. Well, it's quite the achievement to get to where you are, and I think that needs to be admired in itself to be able to get um, from where you have been to where you are now is quite the hurdle, my friend. And especially, right? Okay, and this is how I'm doing the link.
Oh, I
This
knew
is how
this
we,
link. I knew
yeah,
this link was coming.
this is how we're doing the link, right? Is that we only really first spoke properly, well, like say face to face, screen to screen. That's how we're going to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
it now. First time we really spoke was screen to screen, um, was after the live show from PK Malley, Christine and Verity and stuff from the other week.
Yeah. No, that was awesome, man.
Oh, dude, you killed that, and we couldn't have done it without you. So thank you very much for that, man. It was wicked, and it was great. It was great to hang out and
All
shoot
this
the shit.
technology, it breaks my brain.
Well, it definitely breaks mine, mate. Fuck, I'm just a songwriter and a guy that just Terrence Phillips faces into a microphone. That's my version of me talking. But yeah, one thing I didn't know, dude. Okay, which is another great reason why I want you on the show here is that you have autism, my friend.
Yeah. Um, a lot of people don't quite realise it with me, to be honest. Because they seem to think I should hate what I do, and like especially say the actual performing part of it, when frankly it's the only thing that really makes me happy.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of misconceptions with that because you have like, and they're great, BBC documentaries on it, and Louis Theroux will do a thing on it, and you know, those side of things are great, but you're quite a high functioning autistic gentleman. Would be fair to say. Well, you
Yeah.
come across that way.
I mean, the thing with autism, people can be high functioning in so many different ways. Like I knew a lad in school. I won't mention names or nothing like that because I do still chat to him, and he probably wouldn't want me saying this. But
Of
like,
course.
there's times where the geezer will go completely non-verbal, but like, say you put me and him next to each other in a maths exam, I'm gonna get like an ungraded, but that kiddie will literally 100% any sort of mathematical problem you pose him with. If
Yeah.
I've even gone to him for advice on stuff that's involve that sort of thing. But like social skills, and he would, I mean, if he knew you well enough to actually chat to you, he would
Yeah.
tell you this himself. He's got next to none of them.
Right.
Oh, whereas me, I got pretty decent social skills.
Yeah.
Although most people think I'm a bit of a Fruit Loop, really. But, um, he, and
Just comes with being a front man, dude.
well, yeah, I guess that's more frontman than autistic, But like it affects people in so many different ways. But people who don't know about it, they think it's very one size fits all. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. There's many a downside. People like me can be a lot more susceptible to like other mental health things.
Would you mind talking about that, dude? Are you okay talking about that?
Yeah. It's no bother to me, mate. I tell you, I especially through all the lockdown stuff and all that, I've got incredibly depressed at times. Like literally thought there was no point me even carrying on doing the music, and I'm glad that certain people in my life kind of stuck a virtual boot up my ass from afar and told me, "No, you're doing this. You're doing it now." And now we're obviously about to release our first album, which
Right. That's a fucking journey in itself.
just getting this album out, it's like that one goal I've had ever since I kind of got into music. Because like I was about, I think I was 10 when I first got into music, and I'll come onto that in a minute because it does actually kind of relate.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
But like before that, I was a very sort of geeky, follow the crowd little kid that just wanted to be liked, and I didn't quite know how to do that with people that they weren't like me,
Did you have like an early diagnosis then, or was this?
Yeah,
or did you have a late
I was
diagnosis?
lucky enough that I was diagnosed. I'm sure my mum's probably going to correct me on this later, but I think I was like 3.
Right.
It-
Okay. So
um,
really early. Then.
yeah, and I'll say this: a lot of people don't end up getting that diagnosis till sometimes a lot later in life. So I know a guy who only got diagnosed when he was 30, about my age. Oh, so like
Right.
it can be really fucked up sometimes. Like that they just don't notice it. They just say in school they just think you're a troubled child and all that sort of
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah.
Like, because I'll be honest, like I was bullied a lot in secondary school, and
Right.
like some autistic people, we can end up with quite bad anger issues, and I'm nowhere near like that these days. I'll still aptly tell someone to fuck right off if they annoy me, but
Yeah. And rightly
uh,
so.
but back in school, like yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I went for a few people. Sometimes I took shit a little too personally and literally, and a couple of them didn't deserve it.
Right.
Like I said to you before this, mate, I'm an open book. Look, I'm not gonna hold anything back. But like there was some at that school that understood that that was me and I couldn't really change it and
Yeah.
shouldn't have to. There were others, especially in the staff, who kind of went, "Oh, he's just a violent, troubled child," and all this shit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, no. If you stop them freaking teasing me, I'd stop punching them." Really.
It always starts at the source, man.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
yeah. Yeah. It's like,
prevention's the best cure.
yeah. The problem was that it was a private school where some of the kiddies in my year, they had like dads on the governor's board and stuff like that, and they virtually considered themselves untouchable.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
don't get me wrong. I have some fond memories of my secondary school days at Sidcott, like, and there were certain people there that influenced me for the better. Like,
Yeah.
my old music teacher, Justin Wildridge, he started out teaching me playing clarinet. That was actually my first instrument, funnily
No
enough.
way. Do you still
Yeah,
play?
yeah. I couldn't play a note on the damn thing if I tried today. I'll tell you that much. But that was more kind of my parents' choice initially.
Right.
Well, my mum more than anything, and like she knows I blame her for that. And like, frankly, mum, if you watch, I'm not sorry. Hey,
He's not sorry, Mum.
but my dad was always the one who like he'd been a rock and roll guy since late 70s, early 80s. And he always saw something in me that reminded him of when he first got into all of that. That's why eventually he decided to start dribbing and drabbing it into me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was only about 10 at the time. So this
Right.
is like, I don't know, tail end of my junior school days. And like at the time, the only music I'd ever listened to was what was in the charts, because that's what all the kiddies in school thought
course.
everyone should listen to. Like, when you're that young, you don't know any better. Oh, this is in the charts. This is popular. I like this.
Yeah.
And my dad kept playing me these songs, and obviously my kind of analytical brain kicked into gear, and I recognized that the one thing all these songs had in common was two distinct voices, and those voices were Francis Rossi and Rick Parfitt.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yes, I'm a Quo fan. Don't judge me. Like,
Dude, in Jersey, where I'm from, like when I was 15, I entered a competition to open for Status Quo, and there was like 100 bands in Jersey, all sorts of ages that
Oh, shit.
entered, and then we got into the top 10, which was like a Back with the Bands thing one night, and we were the only under 18 bands to open for Status Quo, and I think we came like 8th out of the 10. And we had
Whoa.
to have like our mum and dads there, like repping and stuff. But special security guards sitting at the table because we were underage. Still people smoking and in the bars at that time.
Just
So
to stop you bunch of wild men from flipping drinking, man.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's to stop us like flirting with the ladies.
You
and all that.
tearaways, you.
Rock and roll reprobates.
Damn straight. But no, so one day I asked my dad in the car, who is this? I always hear the same singers on these songs, and they sound like they are the same people. Or like, and he says, right, this is status quo. I grew up listening to these guys amongst others. Do you like it? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. Got any more? And he's, whenever we're in the car on the way to school or whatever, just whatever we might be doing, he's always got the quote on. And he's just trying to drum my brain full of these songs because I think he knew at that point he'd get to take me to a show. And I heard so many times, and I didn't realise what they were talking about at the time, but my parents had little spats because my mum didn't really want me going to a rock and roll show. She was a bit worried. But my dad was like, it's only the quo, he'll be fine.
It's only rock and roll, but I like it.
Oh, damn straight, damn straight. So, one day, come home from school, and he pulls out 2 tickets to a quo show at Warwick Castle.
Sick.
Tells me, right, this is what I do all the time. Whenever you see me coming in late, it's probably because I've been out at one of these.
Excellent.
He's taken me out to Warwick Castle. We actually met the Beach Boys that day, which was quite funny.
No way. Seriously?
Yeah, honestly. We've always liked looking in these like old memorabilia shops and stuff where you get all the signed records and all that.
Yeah.
And signed sports gear and shit. And I've done a little bit of research on the Beach Boys as well because I knew they were very big at one time. And we've been coming out of this shop and we've both frozen as these guys walk past us. Older gentlemen, American accents. And my dad, first time I ever heard my dad swear, honestly, was we froze. Well, I've more walked into the back of him as he froze, and then I froze because I was a bit scared. and he's just gone, boy, that's the fucking Beach Boys. So, like, we've sat outside and literally waited for him to come out. Excuse me, fellas. Sorry, any chance we could get a photo with you for my boy? It's his first ever gig today, so go and watch them. They weren't overly loud as you'd expect from the Beach Boys. Good show.
Yeah.
Not wrong with it. Fantastic live band. Would recommend to anyone. But I'm looking up at this PA stack the whole time, and I'm there like, that shit's gonna eat me, man. What's going on? Like 10-year-old little autistic kid seeing a proper outdoor PA stack for the first time. I know it sounds weird, but I was scared shitless.
Wall of Marshalls. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was this wall of Marshalls at the back of the stage. Then about 9 o'clock, lights go down. Whole field's plunged into black, and people start screaming, and I'm just going, what the hell's going on?
The fear.
And my dad's got us front and centre tickets here, right? And Rick Parfitt walked into the central spotlight. Now, I'd seen photos of him, but seeing him in the flesh, I was like, that is the coolest human being I've ever seen in my life, and I need to be exactly like him right now.
Yeah.
He's hit the first chords of Caroline, and I'd heard that song 100 times on record.
Yeah.
The records do not do those boys justice, I tell you, especially when they're playing the classics.
Yeah.
I've run forward and I've grabbed the rail, and these security guards are trying to tell me to get back. And I'm like, no. I'm going mental. I absolutely lost my shit. And for about the next year, I was begging my dad for an electric guitar and created a monster since then. Me and him have gone to see all the greats, pretty much, you know. And now he's the drummer in my freaking band.
Dude, that's so good. What a great story there. That's so good.
Yeah, I know it's long, sorry, but like...
No, there's no long stories here, mate. It's all good. Stories are stories.
Yeah, but no, I mean, just like with the autism thing, like once I got into playing music, it was something that made me feel powerful, finally.
Interesting.
I wasn't the popular guy. I wasn't the good-looking guy. But I was the guy that could outplay everyone else.
Right. Okay.
like, and some people would try to tell me that I couldn't, but I mean, these are people that think they're a better guitarist than me simply because they can play an old Hendrix solo note for note.
That doesn't
Okay,
mean
cool.
shit.
Write your own then.
Yeah, playing someone else's song doesn't mean shit, mate. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. It's like these kind of people. They never went anywhere with music. I'm 30 years old and I'm still doing it now and probably doing it better than ever.
yeah. Totally.
Like
30s are your prime, man. 30s is your fucking prime.
Well, the one thing I'd say to any autistic person, and like it doesn't just have to be with music. It like whatever it is you want to do, if there's anyone out there that tells you, oh, you shouldn't do that or you can't do that, like because you're autistic, that's all they deserve. Honestly.
Hell yeah.
It's funny how like even the parents and carers of people with autism treat them sometimes like
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you a funny one there. A couple of years back, we played, because I used to be involved with a festival that was geared around people with autism and learning difficulties and people with disabilities in general, called A Perfect Day. And we played a fundraiser night for them at Lincoln Drill Hall. Fantastic night, don't get me wrong. And we were in a backstage area that the Rolling Stones were once in, with these lush green sofas and like private showers for the band, like which I was glad off after a 6-hour fucking van ride up from Bristol.
Yeah, fucking right.
And the thing is, I fully believe that the best way to treat someone with autism is with understanding that that's what they are.
Yeah.
But other than that, treat them just like everyone fucking else.
Exactly.
You know?
It's the same way as like understanding people's likes and dislikes, and people have, funny ways of doing things.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same mentality, right? It's understanding people for who they are without putting this fucking label on them.
Well, the funny thing is, right, I don't censor my show for no one, okay? At the end of the day, you're not paying me enough to control what I say or what I play.
Yeah, if you don't like it, fuck off. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Now, there's a good couple of hundred of these autistic youngers down the front. Anything from 14 up to about 30. Okay?
Right.
And they're having a whale of a time.
Yeah.
They all knew ahead of time that I'm one of them. And there was a few points during the show, like... there's an old song of ours called Migraine, and it is literally about telling people who are chatting shit to do one.
Right.
And so I gone on this little inspirational speech about it literally taught them the most important 2 words you'll ever learn in your life as an autistic person. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Okay. And literally I've got them all chatting. 1, 2, 3, fuck them. 1, 2, 3, fuck them. And then I've gone, or you could just say, my brain hurts, and kicked into the song. And
Excellent.
I could see these parents at the back of the hall with faces like slapped asses. Is go, oh, why is he using that language in front of my child? Like, because that's a human being and I'll talk to him on my level. Or,
Thank you.
Their attention's on me right now, not on you. They don't give a shit what you say about this.
Yeah, totally.
And like, there's a song we played that's actually been redone for the album called the Ballad of Mary Jane, which I was a very heavy weed addict for probably 15 years, and the misconception that kind of got me on it was that it would help with controlling certain aspects of autistic behavior.
Yeah, because a lot of people say like, and I don't know, I'm an advocate. I'm this guy that's an advocate for, do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't give a shit as long as it doesn't hurt anyone or upset anyone or offend anyone. Then fucking crack the fuck on.
Well,
but
yeah,
there are people that kind of go on and say, and correct me if I'm wrong in kind of understanding what you're about to say here, but or preempting it is that people say like our CBD oil or marijuana and things like this and weed, you know, they reduce anxiety. You know, you'll do this with them, or you know, they'll help your back pain and things like this. I have yet to feel any of that stuff. Like, you know, for me, even when I've taken like the CBD oil drops, I did it for a couple of months just to see what would happen. I didn't really notice anything.
Well, some people, the CBD oil works. Now, the main thing about that, though, is that the stuff within cannabis that causes the mental health shit is not CBD. And it's been refined in a way that is actually non-harmful. I mean, fuck, there's like less than 0.1% THC in the CBD stuff. Now, I'd never say to anyone get reliant on it or nothing, but I don't know. It just felt to me like a lot of people try to prescribe positive effects to actually smoking weed, more to justify how much of it they smoke themselves. Does that make sense?
I think so. Yeah.
And the thing is, I know this because I was one of them, mate.
Right. Okay,
and
cool.
I wrote the Ballad of Mary Jane about 2 weeks after I first gave it up, about 2 years ago, and we've recorded the song, and it did all right for us, the old version at the time, actually, as far as things ever went for us at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I, again, at this gig in Lincoln, I've made a little speech about how don't listen to these people who say that it's going to help people like you. Take it from one of your own. It doesn't. And like, you guys, I hope you listen to this song, learn my story of it, and make the right decision for yourselves. If that is that you still want to smoke weed, smoke weed, that's absolutely fine. I ain't here to tell you what to do, but I am going to tell you what I advise you don't do. You know?
You're not preaching. You're just, like I said, you know, you're just doing a cautionary tale.
Yeah, but the big problem was I had parents come up to me after having a right go at me for even talking about drugs on stage in the presence of their child. And these are at least teenagers, okay, at the youngest. So people at that age, you got to catch them and tell them, no, keep your ass off it.
Well, do you know what Doug Stanhope, the comedian, said? If you're anti-drugs that much, then burn every album you've ever bought.
No, the thing is, like, I'm not anti-drugs in a way of, like, I'm going to actively crusade against people who take them. I don't give a shit. It's your choice. Like,
totally. Yeah.
I just don't be a twat about it, really. But, like, I'm going to tell my story, and hopefully it will help convince a few of these autistic people to not be like me. You know? Like, frankly, I get really anxious whenever I smell the stuff now.
Interesting. So it's had like a reverse effect now.
Yeah, honestly.
Would you say, if you don't mind me asking you, would you say you were an addict to it? Or would you just say that you
Absolutely.
had...
Absolutely.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay.
Now, the funny thing is, people say you can't get addicted to weed. Now, in the physical, chemical sense, that much is kind of true.
Right.
The problem is up here, okay? Your mind starts to rely on that shit. Like, if you've...
Do you know, the first time I did weed was only in 2020, at the beginning of 2020.
Fair play,
I did it
lad.
once. And I just sat there on the sofa for 3 hours and didn't fucking say a word or move.
You was mashed then, bro.
I was fucked, mate. I was fucked.
You was mashed then.
Yeah.
But, no, like, to me, the addiction side of it, yes, people who say you can't get addicted are right in the physical sense.
Yeah.
But I know so many people say, I'm not a weed addict, but it really helps me to do X, Y, Z, fucking A, B, and C things in my life. And if you actually broke down their lives a bit, that's virtually everything that's more than sat there watching TV. Does that make sense?
100%.
And I'm just going, okay, you're not an addict, but everything you do, you need it to function. Like, come on, mate, that don't really seem level to me.
Yeah, that's kind of the epitome of what that's kind of what it is, right?
The thing is, I know this again because I was one of them, mate.
Exactly.
I was one of them. And I slowly, in the last couple of years maybe of smoking it, I slowly realised I was going downhill.
Okay.
When you're that on the weed, fuck, misery loves company, man. Like, you end up attracting the sort of people around you who, like, either they're just as addicted to the shit as you are and fucking enable whatever you're doing, or they're just miserable people that like miserable people, or like
breeds like.
Fuck yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I've tried so many times since, whenever these old friends have reached out to me to go, hey, look, you want to get yourself off it because you can do so much better. Oh, nah, but it helps me, man. It helps me. You have no idea. Bruv, I was on it for longer than you fucking been.
Yeah. Mm.
And, and like, some go, oh, you're such a arrogant shit since you've given up weed. Like, no, I gave up weed and now everything in my life is better. Sorry,
Yeah, it's not a coincidence.
It don't make me arrogant to put 2 and 2 together and actually land at 4 instead of 5. Like,
yeah, man.
Like I said, I'm no maths brain, but I can work that one out.
Totally, dude. Well, then, what point taking it, right? Did you think it was helping anything to do with autism? And then at what point did you suddenly think, the scales have tipped the other way, it's actually becoming a detriment?
I would say for the first one, probably in school, when, frankly, if I snuck off for a spliff before I got a lift to school in the morning, I was a little less likely for at least 2/3 of the day to punch someone.
Oh, okay. So it kind of like gave you an extra second to think about your actions, almost.
Well, not even that. I was just less angry and just felt like, meh, can't be bothered. As you know,
okay.
Later that day, when shit started to wear off, I'm remembering that shit, and I'm going, no, that little fucker better stay away from me.
Okay.
And as much as I say, some people who I got into altercations with in school didn't deserve it, there were a fucking lot that did.
Yeah. Equally, there was a load of people that did. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, even a broken clock's right fucking twice a day.
Fuck yeah.
As far as when things started to swing the other way, honestly, can't remember where I was playing, but I did a gig, and frankly, I got through the gig. Things were somewhat fine. People enjoyed it, and they didn't seem to notice. But I felt like utter bollocks through the whole gig because I hadn't had a spliff. If you know,
right? So you felt like you needed it then?
Yeah, and I'm like, hang on, all of my fucking songs that I really like, and don't get me wrong, there are songs on our album that I wrote when I was still right on it. Okay, and I love those songs. They're great songs. I'm not disputing that. But for example, there's a song on there called Spice of Life, which I don't actually lead that one. Kywin, the other singer, does, who is actually autistic as well. Oh, by the way.
No way.
The front pairing of the band is both autistic. The backing singer is as well. Some of us have our suspicions about the keyboard player, potentially, but...
I think it's just because they're a keyboard player, right?
Well, all right, fair enough. Well, he's either autistic or he's just fucking mad. and I can't decide which. But like when I gave it up, I started writing so much more creatively, and even some of the songs that I wrote back then, I picked apart a little and went, I was nearly there, but it needs X. And I made one little change, and bang, I just disappeared off the screen as I said bang for a minute there. That was funny. But and then suddenly bang, that song became everything it ever needed to be.
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm quite a simplistic songwriter on many levels.
Best ones are, mate. The best ones are.
But like I just suddenly realized that shit, I write much better stuff when I'm not on the weed. And then I'll be completely honest with you. There was an argument I had with my missus, which, and I apologise for this to her to this day. She didn't deserve the way I acted. The following day, I just went, you know what? That shit wouldn't have happened if the weed wasn't addling my fucking brain. And you know, it started to cause more anger than it solved. If that makes sense.
So that's the point you realised it tipped.
Well, I couldn't tell you what the actual tipping point was. That was the first point I really recognised it.
Yeah.
As far as when it tipped, couldn't tell you. But as far as when I knew it had tipped, that was it. The very next day, I woke up, I smoked about a quarter of a joint, and I just went, you know what, why the fuck am I doing this? And I legit grabbed my weed tin and I threw it out the window as hard as I could. And making sure that it hit a wall across the way, smashed, and my fucking ground up weed went everywhere. Like, unusable, you know? I grabbed every bit of weed related stuff in my house, bongs, king rizzlers and all that. I slung them straight in a bin bag and straight out the fucking door.
Do you think there was some catharticism with that?
At the time, my brain's going, no, what the fuck are you doing, you mad bastard? But a few days later, I got the catharsis of it, really.
Yeah.
Like, although I'll never bloody shoot the cigarettes. Fucking like, come on.
Well, never say never, man.
But, no, I don't know, it did feel cathartic after a while, although for a while, and I'll say this kind of more to any of your viewers that are in the position I was in and are considering giving up. About the first 2 to 3 months are going to suck. Stay the hell away from anyone that is at that point smoking weed or is going to smell of it, because you will fucking hate to be around them. Okay? I'm not saying never see those people again. Just, if they're your friends, they will accept that they just can't smoke it around you.
Was there like a heavy withdrawal? Because that's another thing, right? People say that there's no withdrawal and all that stuff from it.
Yeah, and they're talking bollocks, mate.
Right.
As I said before, physically, no. But up here plays bloody havoc with you when you're
Do you think that's habit? Is that part of habit then? Do you think, you know, like, where you do this and you do that? You know, I've never rolled a cigarette in my life. You know, so I've tried cigarettes, but I never smoked, if you know what I mean. You know.
Fair.
You know, is it the habit of, like, you know, grinding it down, putting it in?
Yeah. I was like trying to always find something more to do with my hands. So I made sure
cocaine addicts. Yeah, they say the same thing, like the chopping.
Yeah,
right, is the bit they miss.
I knew a geezer once who said the exact same thing. But like for me, what actually started to get me through it was okay, I was a half decent guitarist, and I should caveat this by saying I'm dyspraxic, so really I shouldn't have been half as good a guitarist as I even was at that point. Like,
right. Okay.
Now,
but that's surely just determination and willpower that's got you to that point,
partly,
at least.
Partly. But at the point where I needed something to do with my hands because of giving up the weed, I made sure that every time I felt that way, I picked up my guitar for so much as 5 minutes. And not just an acoustic. I would make sure, even if it was through headphones, I had an electric going with the full nastiest overdrive I could find. I would just whittle away and experiment with stuff because I'm completely self-taught. Because being dyspraxic, teachers try and teach you their way, and you're physically not capable of it.
No.
Honestly, you've got to find your own style of playing if you're someone like me. I mean, I'd recommend anyone finding their own style, honestly. But
Totally, yeah.
It's very prevalent for people like me who can't do all your fast bloody sweep picking and all that. Like, I mean, to this day, if someone tried telling me to sweep pick, I'd get a fucking sweeping brush. I'd pick them up off the floor with it and chuck them out the bloody door.
How many top 40 or how many #1 singles in the UK have you heard that have got like epic sweep picking and string skipping in it? It's like,
I know, right? It's nuts. But
proof in the pudding there.
But now I'm actually a lot happier with my skills on guitar, and which kind of sucks because I don't actually play guitar on more than like 2 songs in the fucking band. And and I only take 1 solo, and that's only when I feel like we can extend that particular song, because the last tune on the album, Starlight, a lot of it is like exposition for the instrumentalists, like just getting them to really show off for a minute.
Yeah,
it like
stretch their legs.
I'll send you the tune later, actually.
Yeah, fucking right, dude. Please do.
Yeah, you lot be jealous. Nikki Smash is getting an advance look at our album.
You hear that? You hear that? Your boy Smash is getting a little peekaroo.
But no, like I don't know. There's ways and means of getting through it, is all I'll say. And I have had moments, don't get me wrong, where I've got so close to relapsing. But
Right. Do you class yourself as someone who's in like a recovery status then?
At the end of the day, mate, when you're an addict, you're never not an addict.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you are always a recovering addict, because unfortunately the nature of addiction is that it can rear its ugly head and stick a boot up your ass at any given moment. And if you're not willing to fight to keep it down. I've now been clean for 2 years as of January the 12th.
Fucking hey, man.
Yeah, I have a drink here and there, all right, but I never had a problem with drinking. Except for when I go to Download Festival, then for 5 days a year I'm a raging fucking alcoholic.
I think that's a bit different. I think that's kind of part of the heritage of going to Download, right? It's just get fucked up for a couple of days.
Bro, honestly, the amount of stupid places I've woke up in at that festival, you wouldn't even believe.
Never been to Download, man.
Bro, I go on disability camping. For some reason, my autism gets me in there, but we can take guests. So when they eventually put it back on,
I'll be your chaperone, dude.
No. My dad comes as that, but we can take guests in it. So fucking come with us, man. Disabled camping is the greatest campsite on the whole festival. Fuck, I mean, a couple of years ago, there was a goddamn wheelchair race because, obviously Donington's a racetrack first and foremost for the MotoGP.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Where they have disabled camping, you're on the grass either side of the track, and it's like this big U-bend portion of the track goes down a hill, big left curve, comes back up a hill onto a straight, and obviously wheelchairs and stuff. They've say when the wheelchair user comes out of their tent in the morning, they've got about 5 foot to cover before they're on fucking smooth as you like ground, and they can get anywhere they want. So these 2 lads, them and their carers, have built these almost like trike wheelchairs where they pedal them by pushing their arms over like so.
Right.
And
so they're pedaling with their
it's both hands. It's both hands at the same time. They can't pedal and turn at the same time. Is the only real drawback, mechanically at least, from what I could see. Okay. But these 2 lads didn't know each other. They just built very similar contraptions, and these things can get up to 20+ miles an hour if they're really.
Are they geared like a bike?
Yeah. Yeah, they are literally geared like a bike. If they want to really put the hammer down, they could probably push 25 mile an hour out of these things, right? So these lads have met and they decided, fuck it, we want to have a race on Donington Racetrack. So their carers have gone round and said, look, who would be up for this happening? They've gone to the stewards and said, hey, look, we want to do this. Can you give us, say, a half an hour period with no vehicles moving? Okay. So at night, the floodlights go on around the track so people can still see. So we devised a plan to do a race down U-bend, back to the top, right? Got like stewards and just general punters to line the outside of the course in case of any kind of accident, right? And a massive crowd of everyone has suddenly appeared at the end. And it's one of the best stories of fucking just disabled perseverance you'll ever hear.
Amazing.
These two lads, they've started off and they are hamming it. They want to put on a good show for everyone that day, right? So they've come slamming down the hill. Now, one of them was a bit more sensible than the other. He has decided he's going to hit the brakes as he's about to come into the corner. He's taken it, and they've made an agreement that if one of them was eating dirt halfway round, the other would not stop up and finish. Like, the guy who fell would be sorted out by us who are lining the track.
Right.
So the second guy, he's just a little bit behind. He's trying to take this guy on the corner, but he hasn't thought about it. He hasn't hit his brakes. He's tried taking this corner at full tilt on the outside. He's ended up barreling over into the gravel. And of course, like myself and a couple of the stewards, because you get to know the stewards quite well because it's the same team every year. And they let me ride in a golf cart right behind the two races. And we've just seen this guy go barreling off into the fucking gravel. And we're like, oh shit. Oh my God, he's going to die. And we are expecting to run over and find him either screaming or dead. As we run closer to him, he's laughing his fucking ass off, just going, ah, shit, that hurt. And we're like, oh, shit, mate, your race is over. And he's like, no, get me back in my chair. I am finishing this thing. So I've pushed him up the hill to the flat bit at the top. And obviously the guy who won has obviously told the crowd at the end, shit, I don't know if he's all right. Like, he took a right fucking slam down the bottom there. And then all of a sudden, I've pushed him over the crest of the hill and they've seen him. Place went up in absolute fucking roars, mate. And he literally said to me, right, give me one big push here and I'm going to take it home. Pedaled over the line under his own power.
That's fucking awesome. Sick.
That site is the best community
on
any festival. Like up in main camping, you get the fucking idiots starting fires in their tents and
what
shit.
The fuck is with that, man? I mean, like, we're all adults.
Have you heard about that shit? The Sunday night of download. It's a bit of a tradition in main camping. If you're not taking your tent home in the morning to set it alight. Now, first year I was there, I was in main camping. This guy had thrown a fucking gas can on a fire on his tent. And it went boom. Trust me. And of course, the police have come out to try and round up anyone who was starting fires. They've come up to this one fire, and there's a few of these twats sort of just drinking around. Like, oh yeah, we're cool, aren't we? You know those little one-man tunnel tents, right? The really small, domey ones that they fit one person, one bag, pretty much. That's it. Now, this one guy has tried to run when the old Bill showed up. And I'm sat a little bit away, kind of staying outside my tent and just watching. I didn't sleep at all that night just to make sure.
Fuck that, dude.
But it was so funny. The old Bill have chased this guy and they've dump tackled him on top of one of these tunnel tents. Now I'm there thinking, oh, the guy must be out in the festival village or something. A few seconds later, the front of this tunnel tent unzips while they're handcuffing this other guy. And this older fellow sort of crawls up. Just goes, what the fuck was that? They literally dump tackled this guy right on top of this poor fella.
Fucking hell.
Oh my god! I literally walked straight up and handed the geezer a beer. I was like, "Look, you look like you need it, mate.
You
Here
look
you
like
are."
you need one of these, my friend. Yeah.
And
You're
it-
not
but-
you. You're not you when you're hungry. Have one of these. Yeah.
But,
Fucking hell, dude.
But no, just coming back to the disabled site, I will also
Yeah.
say this, as a autistic bloke, that you even find up on main camping at some of the festivals that sometimes most people are lovely. Okay, most people absolutely lovely. There are some that if they find out you're autistic, they'll start teasing you about it and shit. And it's just like, tease me about anything else you want, but you have no idea what it is like being me. Okay? So, on that subject, please do me a favour, shut the fuck up. But
Right.
down on the disabled camping, it's the only place with a mass of people other than rock and roll shows where I truly feel like, I don't want to say normal, but like a neurotypical person.
Okay, so like,
Does
you've
that
got
make
like
sense?
Yeah, 100%, dude. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
And yeah, like, and honestly, my dad actually has Andy Copping from Download on Facebook, and he told him this, and Andy's actually looking to make some real investments into the disabled site potentially over the next couple of years.
Okay, well, that's an interesting thing. Let's talk about that because obviously I'd say I'm fortunate enough not to kind of experience anything like that. I have ADD, as you're obviously well aware.
I didn't actually clock it, mate. Not gonna lie.
Oh, dude, the amount of people that go, "Are you ADD?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Of course I am. Look at me, type of thing. And that comes with its ups and downs. It's not just people think ADD is Bam Margera and you're a jackass. It's not. There's a plethora of shit that goes with it.
Oh yeah.
Just the same as you. I mean, not on the same of level, of course, but is there enough? Do you think there's enough things in music that help autism? Are we still are we behind the cusp here as a nation, as a rock and roll nation? Excuse me. Considering we're
I would say honestly that for the most part, and look, what people need to realise is that I'm going to use the word society quite loosely here to kind of describe the rock and roll nation, if you will.
I know what you mean, man.
Oh,
yeah.
But no society will ever be perfect. There's a lot of people pushing for like morally pure things these days, and it's like there's always going to be dickheads. Yeah. It's like honestly, we might be in a COVID pandemic right now. We've been in a dickheadism pandemic since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
We'll never get rid of it. There's no cure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, what I've learned is that the vast majority of everyone in the rock and metal scene and all that, lovely people. They don't give a shit what disability you got or nothing like that.
Yeah, it's kind of the freak. I say it's all the freaks and the geeks, man. They're all
yeah, exactly.
The outcasts have made a mold where we can all be together.
Yeah.
So when people you remember there was with that emo thing, metalers were hating on emos. I never really understood that.
Oh no, fuck that, man. It's like
it's just come on, it's like you're friendly firing in a war. Why?
Well, yeah,
don't do
it's
that?
like they're not that much different to guys like you and me.
Fucking right, dude. Yeah.
And I will level this right, and some people in your comments might end up giving me a little bit of stick for this. But I remember, before I started going to Download, I remember a story of Korn fans going, after Korn had finished, going and bottling My Chemical Romance. Now, I've seen My Chemical Romance on their own night. I saw them on the Black Parade tour. Fucking fantastic live band. Now, when it gets rescheduled, eventually, me and the missus have got 2 tickets to go see them at the Milton Keynes Stadium.
Sick. That's a great venue, man.
Which, frankly, I think it's high time that those guys were playing stadiums. Yeah, they're not all fucking hard edged. Some of their stuff's pretty emotional and all that. But Jesus Christ, have you ever heard Teenagers? That's a rock and roll song, man. That's a straight up rock and roll song.
That's a rock and roll song, dude.
I would
Honestly,
be
it sounds
proud.
like Elvis, that song.
I'd be proud to write an opening guitar riff half as good. Okay, and all they did was a little bit of blues scale stuff and chugged the hell out of it.
Fucking right, man. They just played the blues through a dual rectifier.
Well, yeah, you don't have to be like Machine Head level widdly 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 widdly.
Oh no, man. No.
And I love that music. I'm not gonna
Fuck
say
yeah.
I don't, but
Yeah.
not everything has to be that. You
No,
know,
man.
Jesus Christ, when you listen to my stuff, 4 or 5 chords a song, few different sections, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Frankly.
Yeah, totally. Dude, I always go by this nowadays. Like, I'm at that point where I'm not like, I like to think of the term like genre fluid. Right?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Genre
Oh
fluid.
my god, I'm so pissed I didn't come up with that myself.
Dude, look, I have to give credit to one of my students. One of my students was like, "Yeah, just think of more like genre fluid," and I was like, "Hold it there." I was like, "Say that again."
Like, did you just say that?
Did you just say that? And he was like, "Yeah, I suppose that kind of makes sense." I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna coin that," but I have to shout out to him every time.
Yeah,
but you know,
royalty checks in the post.
royalty
student,
checks
if
in
you're
the
watching
post,
this.
dude. Yeah, totally. Yeah. But you know, it's fucking great. When I heard that, I was like, "Shit, genre fluid, dude." And he was like, "Yeah, you know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, then cool, you know." And I was like, "Fucking." He's like, "It doesn't mean you have to bottle the band or bottle the pop artist." He goes, "Dude," he's like, "on my fucking, you know, Spotify shuffle, I'm checking out, you know, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor, and then it's like, you know, Poker Face."
although Poker Face, I have heard some fucking great rock covers of that song.
Dude, Lady
to...
Gaga stuff has got amazing riff capabilities.
Well, I tell you the thing with Lady Gaga, she's actually a massive metalhead.
She's a massive metal fan, yeah.
I remember reading a story. Biff and Paul from Saxon actually went to see her because Biff's daughter. They had like 3 tickets. Biff's daughter wanted to go see her, and he had a spare, so he's gone. "Oi, Quinny, do you fancy it?" Yeah, why not? And they've been waiting. They were sat somewhere up the side of the arena, and all of a sudden, a bloke in a suit turns up going, "Excuse me, I work for Lady Gaga. She's noticed you on the side of the stage. She's actually a massive fan. And can I take you backstage, please?" Yeah, literally.
Yes.
And even when you're a metal legend like fucking Biff Byford, at that point you're just like, yeah, cool, why not?
yes, I can go backstage and meet Lady Gaga. Of course I can do that. Yeah,
and
just hold my beer.
And like some people panned Metallica for performing with her at the Grammys. Like, have you heard the harmonies they're pulling off on that tune?
Dude, I fucking love Lady Gaga.
Moth into Flame, wasn't it?
Yeah, Moth into Flames. Yeah.
Like, honestly, if I had a time machine and could go fucking prod James Hetfield to go do something, I said, fuck doing your own version of Moth into Flame for the album. Just get Gaga in and do the version you did at the Grammys, and that will sell millions.
Yeah, dude.
And you know, like, that would have been a great lead single off the album.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah, man. You know, I love Lady Gaga, man. She's so good. She's so fucking good. Have you seen A Star Is Born?
I haven't. My missus keeps trying to get me on
dude,
it, but I've not had
considering
time.
you like rock and roll, like proper rock and roll.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper, fuck me, man. He learned how to play guitar after the movie, apparently. Because there's a couple of things of him playing it, and it's like, oh, he's playing. But in the thing, obviously, you know, it shows like there's a little lick in his hands and not quite doing it. But he's really convincing at like miming. But he did actually sing all the songs, right?
Mm.
No joke, dude. Like it's actually a really dark film. People don't realize, like, oh, they see Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, and it's like, honestly, it's dark as fuck, but I love it. I really connect with it.
No, I'll give that a look, mind. I'll even send you a little film review for the Nikki Smash show, like.
All right, dude, I want that. I want to. Okay, and now from Adam, I want a little film review. You know.
Oh Jesus, what have I signed up to now?
Signed up. Dude, it's recording. It's fucking on there, man.
Yeah,
It's
in
happening.
it. I know. But no, I guess what I'm trying to say overall is like whatever music you're into, like, and it kind of goes even back to what we were talking about with me being autistic, like. Whatever you want to do, whatever you like, that's what you like. Fuck it. If someone else if someone else thinks you should be into something else, sure, let them try and convince you that their thing is worth your time. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. Like the best analogy I've seen for this was I play a lot of airsoft. It's like paintball, but with like realistic BB guns instead. And there are some events where there's paintball stuff going on and airsoft stuff at the same time. And there's always these purists on both sides, who are just like, oh no, our sport's so much better. And I'm there like, no, actually, there's things I respect about both. Personally, I don't do paintball because frankly, it hurts more than the airsoft does. I can handle the pain of the airsoft. The paintball just ain't for me. But like, when they go out using their mag-fed paintball guns, they're carrying 6 magazines of only 20 paintballs each. Jesus Christ, I carry more than that in 3 magazines in my airsoft gear.
Yeah.
You know? So all respect for actually making that work and not getting themselves fucked up for it.
Yeah, fuck. I don't know. I've never been paintballing. Like, I've been shot with a paintball and it on my love handle.
Oh no! No!
Right on the back of my fucking
Oh,
lovely love handle.
You got to avoid the love handles, man. That's like dirty play right there.
Dude, honestly, it was like that big.
Oh no!
For like no joke, like weeks.
But
in the fat, dude.
But it's like the one thing I'd always say to just anyone even listening to me right now, like, you do you. If you're not hurting anyone else, man. I mean, sometimes you're going to offend someone, but such is life, really.
Dude, there's things that offend me all the time, and there's things that I do that offend people all the time. Doesn't mean I have to go, this offends me.
Fuck, my face offends most people, mate.
Dude, my face offends everyone, you know. Like, have you seen the uproar about me making sandwiches on Instagram stories? Fuck. And like, and me dyeing my hair, people were going fucking nuts.
What?
Yeah, it's funny.
Madness. Yeah. But it's like, and I'll explain it in kind of the social media sense, because as much as social media is such a great tool for people like you and me, fuck me, it can get real messy real quick.
I love it and I hate it. It's like, I love doing this. I love the podcast thing. You know, I love it, dude.
Yeah.
But I fucking hate like and there is an addiction with social media. You get in, it's just habit. You go, I must need to do that. Like,
yeah,
you know,
like, bro, honestly, but like for most things in life, I can kind of apply this sort of social media theory. If you don't like it, all it takes is a little flick of your thumb to scroll on by. You know?
Yeah, dude.
Like, honestly, there's been so many things in my life where some people have gone, oh, hell yeah, that's awesome, musically and not. And others have just been like, why the hell are you doing it that way? You should be doing it the way I've told you to do it. And I'm just like, okay, but what authority actually are you?
Yeah.
You get me? Like,
yeah.
I remember I was at an airsoft event that was, it's more like a simulation event trying to do a real world scenario. And I was on like a bad guy militia team, right? And there was this one guy who tried acting like he was some sort of fucking general. And yeah, teamwork is a good thing. And don't get me
Yeah,
wrong,
of course.
you ain't gonna win your game without it. But literally, he started shouting at me because we were in a bit of a scrap with the opposition, and I noticed an opening through a little other part of the building we were in to literally run round on the side of them. I popped up right where they didn't expect me, and I took them all out in about 10 seconds.
Sick.
I did exactly what we were trying to do, but because I didn't do it his way, he's come like, rah, 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 I am your commanding officer. I'm like, mate, you ain't shit to me. Like,
Fuck that, man. It's that's kind of like when people criticize the process and you go, but you got the end result, right?
well, yeah, it's like I literally there's someone who I again, I'm not going to mention names because I'm about to slate him a little, really. But there's someone who I thought was a mate
Slate away.
who I thought was a mate who I thought he'd like to hear a little something off the album at a time, and he starts giving me all these fucking notes on how it should be mixed. The geezer's fucking never mixed the thing in his life. Like, he's never picked up an instrument. He just considers himself an authority on music.
Thing is, if you ask someone, hey, can you give me some pointers on this mix? What do you think?
Yeah.
Then awesome. But if you go to someone, hey, I just would like to give you a little sneak peek. I'm not, you're not saying, can you go and fucking judge my guitar samplers? You're saying, hey, do you like the song? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like to average Joe who ain't trained in it, if I'm asking them to rate something, I'm asking them to rate the song, not the fucking recording, because I've got more qualified people who can do that for me.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
and like I'll give a shout out a moment to Alex Wayne. Goes under the name Alex Wayne Audio. He did the production on Claws Out, and Jesus Christ, I like my tunes. I didn't think they were meant to sound that good, to be honest, but
good songs always prevail, my friend.
Bro, no, that's the thing. He took ideas I had for the production, but could have never achieved properly myself with my lack of gear and lack of knowledge, and he just made them completely and utterly sing. And
well, that's something interesting that I wouldn't mind asking, is that
yeah, do it.
With kind of the autism side of things, is there, like, again, this is like common misconception, myth busting type of thing, which I enjoy doing, is there a thing that you get caught up in where things have to sound a certain way, there's a certain way you have to do the process? What autism affects, I'm trying to say, like, what affects your autism in the way it does? I can't think of a way to explain that.
I'm very open to changes with the songs, right? There are certain things every now and again where I just go, no, trust me, that is what I'm hearing in my head.
Is that more gut than autism, though?
I think it's a bit of both. Okay. Honestly, I really think it's a bit of both. Like, there's a tune called Queen and Country on the album. It's kind of a tune about the horrors of war and all that. And the final snare hit of the song, I wanted it to sound like a fucking bomb's just gone off.
Right, yeah.
I had no idea how I could achieve that.
Right,
but, okay. When I sent the files to Alex, he's mixed the song, and it's come back, and it's perfect. And I'm just there going, yeah, but it's still... I've just been hearing in my head for the past week just a fucking... a big bomb going off on the last snare drum. And because I was able to articulate that to him, it's now on the record.
Awesome.
Or like, but as far as your question, like, there are some things I'll be very stuck in about, like, and that is partly autism and partly because I've been doing this so long that I know what's going to work. Like, certain songs that, for me, if we're going to play them any given night, have to be in a certain place in the set, for example.
Right. Okay. So, and that's kind of half gut, half autism doing that?
Yeah. Well, a third gut, a third autism, a third experience, really.
Right, yeah. Okay. So you've got a happy trio of harmony of all. of all of it, kind of making the best decision for the environment that you're currently in.
Yeah. No, I definitely say that, bro.
Excellent, excellent. So, I'm trying to think of a better way of asking this question without me sounding like a complete dick or a complete noob. Is that what makes your autism autism? What is like? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like what are the makeups of your autism that makes you autistic?
It's like sometimes I can very much take things the wrong way where someone without autism wouldn't. And don't get me wrong, I've got a lot better with that sort of thing, but it does from time to time still happen.
Right.
And,
Okay.
And those
is that just misreading social?
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
or,
misreading social cues, really. Like those that know me well know the signs that they've just set that happening in me, and they go, "Hey, hang on a minute, I think you've taken that the wrong way. Let me put this another way." Hey, you know,
Right.
It's
Okay.
fairly easy to sort out. Sometimes stressful situations can really get me on a absolute panic. Sometimes
Right.
a bit quicker than others would. But it's like all the things that I do to help level it off now are things that I thought the weed was doing for me. The weed wasn't. It was just kind of suppressing all that. It wasn't actually
interesting.
helping me cope.
Okay. It was masking.
Yeah, masking rather than coping. And
Yeah.
that's an absolute fucking nail on. You've smashed the nail on the head there.
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah. Okay, that's really interesting, man. What? So in your day to day now, so we have the Hellcats record coming out April 12th,
Yes, April 12th, worldwide.
which is fucking sick. Is there physical pre-orders we can go and check out?
There will be. Potentially even by the time this goes out. Obviously, I'll make sure you know, and if you fancy it, tell the people that follow this
Absolutely.
that it's happening. I've actually got a phone call to make later today to figure out exactly what's going on with that.
Very nice.
At the time of recording, the CDs went into pressing yesterday. Hey,
Sick.
500 copies.
Nice.
Winging their way to. We're not a half measures band, mate. Hey, like we've become the kind of band that if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it ourselves, but we're gonna do it goddamn properly.
Yeah, fucking right.
You
dude.
know, like we're obviously I keep the Welcome to the Madhouse podcast running as well.
Of course. Where can people check you out on that? Is there, is this a, like me, is it a Patreon thing or is
No,
it on
it's not.
Spotify?
It's actually completely free.
Okay, cool, sick.
The kind of story behind Welcome to the Madhouse was it was something like September last year, I believe. Myself and Kywin actually did a bit of performing on a Canadian show that was similar called The Invisible Man Show. And
Right.
I've been a guest on it a couple of times since myself as well. I'll just chat in. But they're big advocates for new music all over the world. Those guys, they're awesome. And people saw me on that show a few times, and they seemed to think I have the patter, as it were, for conducting interviews.
The gift of the gab.
Yeah, something like that, or maybe I just fucking talk too much. But still, like this kind of interview, the longer form thing where I'm the one being interviewed, I'm always a bit more relaxed about it and not trying to really sort of put on a show, if you will. That's why you'll see me puffing cigs on camera and shit. But
That's good. That's the environment I try to.
Well, yeah. But
It's casual conversation is how.
but like our manager Andy Turner and my dad Tony, who's also the drummer, as I said earlier, they kept pressing me for a couple of months at least to do it, and eventually I rang up Mark David Stallard, who runs the Invisible Man Show. Because I noticed that they were adding more like varied kinds of shows to their program, sort of making an Invisible Man network, if you will,
Right,
through
like a
Facebook Live.
almost, yeah.
And I said, I want to do a rock and roll based chat show. Rock, metal, punk, all of that. Mostly British-ish, okay? And just highlight some of my favourite people who have lost out with the pandemic and stuff and try and get him some more record sales. He was like, cool, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it with you. So I've started dinging messages out, and you know what people are like. They sometimes take a good while to respond. And
Yeah, that's probably me, man.
well,
I'm
no,
terrible at that.
I do need to get you on there at some point, mate.
I'd love to, man. I'd love to go on
No, the fucking stupid thing was, right. I met ex-Prodigy guitarist Giz Butt when his new band Janus Stark were opening for the Wild Hearts in 2019, right? And we got on really well, like, and we've been chatting a bit. Shot him a message. And she was like, oh yeah, I'll come on. I'll even play a couple of tunes. So I was like, already like, shit, I've got the ex-guitarist of the freaking Prodigy coming on.
Yeah.
I suddenly got big for my boots and realised I had CJ Wildheart on Facebook. And the Wildhearts are my idols, bruv, honestly.
Right.
And we chatted a few times just about new stuff and all that. I shot him a message, was just like, here, CJ, I'm starting this thing up. Feel completely free to say no, because I know you're a busy man, but you got this new solo thing called Siege coming up, I see, and I think it'd be a good opportunity to just get it out to a few more people. 10 minutes later, I get a message back going, oh, dude, thanks for thinking of me. He like, I'm well up for it. I'm like,
that's worth
how
it.
the fuck did I just make that happen? And like, I got Pete Lee from freaking Lawnmower Death on Wednesday, and like, there's a couple more that I can tell you about off camera that I'm working on.
Totally.
But I honestly I can't talk about them on here. And,
everyone will have to go and check it out. That's the thing.
Yes. You'll have to come and say hello and tell me the Smash Man sent you.
Absolutely.
And as far as future stuff, there is only one show booked in at the moment, but the COVID numbers are dropping like flies. It seems like we're going to be out of this thing sooner than a lot of pessimistic people would like to admit.
Fucking hopefully.
Fucking right, mate. I tell you. But and big shout out to like all the NHS guys who've been doing the vaccine and shit. Like,
oh yeah, we've done over 15 million vaccines now.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, we did a charity single last year called Rule Britannia, which it raised some money up for them, because I instantly saw like how just madly everyone was working. I was just like, I want to kind of do my bit, you know.
Yeah, without clapping.
Well, yeah, like, stood on the doorstep banging pots and pans wasn't for me, really.
No, same.
So I'll sit in a nice warm lounge and record some music, but on that, oh god, that was crazy.
I'll keep putting my mask on and washing my hands. I think that would do more than clapping.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. But we had Jackie Chambers from Girls' School. We had
sick!
Adam Thistlethwaite from Massive Wagons came on and fucking played a bit of guitar on it. Luke Short out of Raven Breed, or Golding from Surge, Tom Weeks from Narwhals. It was like the maddest 3 months I could have ever spent in fucking lockdown. I tell you that. That song consumed me every day. Hopefully,
collabs like that, dude.
Hopefully, when we're gigging again, we'll get to play it live if we've got enough time. But the one show we have got booked in at the moment, and daily I'm becoming more confident that it's going to happen at the moment, is September the 3rd. We play our biggest show ever, a fundraiser for Huggard Helping the Homeless in Cardiff at the Tramshed, opening for the Wild Hearts with
oh shit,
with Cyteria as Jackie Chambers' side project as the main support that night. I mean, Jesus Christ, even thinking about it makes me want to brown my trousers now. Honestly, like, I'm not sure I'll even be able to pick up a guitar in front of Ginger Wildheart, but we shall see.
I'm sure you will, man.
But for anyone who wants to come to that, by the way, it is £25 a ticket. But as soon as like the costs are covered, everything else is in profit, and there is scope to make a lot of profit for the charity that night.
That's great, man.
Huggard have been doing amazing work all throughout the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like my dad actually works for them. He, full disclosure, he's what they call their director of making friends, which
Excellent. That's cool.
basically doing the corporate fundraising stuff. So thankfully he can work from home, but there's many other Huggard staff that are pounding the pavements of Cardiff, looking after the homeless. They're running their hostel over there, and like whether pandemic or not, those people still need looking after. I mean, there's some people in some dire fucking straits over there. Big time. I just wish that the whole country had something as good as Huggard managed to do, you know.
Yeah, dude.
We'd put on a couple of smaller fundraisers for them before, which we headlined, and we kind of went, fuck it, shall we try and go for broke and really get a much bigger band in and make a load of money for the charity, and then just have to do it once a year? And literally, I've emailed the Wild Arts management. It was like, here's what we got going on. What's the absolute lowest price you do it for? Now, out of respect for them, I'm not going to talk about the money, but let's just say they have been so gracious with us doing this show, which now awesome, actually, I found out just a couple of days back when they released the rest of their tour dates. That show is actually the opening night of the Wild Hearts UK tour, and judging by current circumstances, it might well be their first proper gig back on it. So Cardiff, 3rd of September, it is going to fucking explode, mate. Honestly,
excellent.
It is going to fucking explode.
Good on you, man.
The Wild Hearts fan base is some of the most diehard I've ever met.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, big time, big time.
They are absolute diehards. I love them all to bits. Shout out anyone from the Wild Hearts groups that sees this, you know.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, dude. Well, you know, I'm sorry to kind of cut you down here with our time, but dude,
it's cool.
we've had an amazing chat. Thank you so much for your time. You know, you're a fucking inspiration, dude. You should really hold your head high. And we've got.
I'll try it.
Trying to grow the beard more, and it might look like you've got more neck.
Hey, no. Corey Taylor will always be the almighty neck.
Yeah, what's with that neck, man?
It is a mighty neck. It is a mighty neck.
Yeah, totally. So we got the new record, the debut record out, the 12th of April.
Yeah, 12th of April. A lot of HMV stores at least, and all the online platforms. Going to be a lot of video content coming up around the time. And I will reveal one more thing.
Go on in. Are we getting exclusive? Is this going to be an exclusive?
Well, you are the first to hear it, so hurry up and put this fucking interview out, otherwise someone else will beat you to it.
All right.
But we are in the process of planning, at least, a full band live stream show for the night before the album releases. It is from Firebird Studios in Bristol.
Well, fuck me sideways and call me Nicola. That sounds great. So we've got the 11th live stream, 12th the album goes. You're playing a charity show opening for the Wild Hearts at the Tramshed in Cardiff for what?
3rd of September, that one. 3rd of September.
3rd of September. Dude, you should be fucking holding your head high. And you've got the Welcome to the Madhouse podcast, which is once a week, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you say hold your head up high. I'd rather like to get some sleep at some fucking point.
Well, you can do that. You can do that after this, dude.
Well,
yeah,
fair enough. No, I've still got promo videos to work on all day.
Oh, dude, yeah. Well,
yeah.
Adam,
right,
you're a fucking inspiration, and it's great to call you a friend.
Yeah,
and
thank you so much
for
honestly.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on my show. It's been amazing. Thank you so much, dude.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Anytime you want me back, you just holler.
Thanks, man. You take it easy.